African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Simon Okelo, and I'm the host of the African Father in America podcasts. I'm excited to be here with you today. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Seattle, Washington. I am a little late for today's live stream, and I was just doing some research before I came on live. Waking up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning is no joke. So I'm extremely committed to this daily short live streams where I'll just be covering topics that are important to me as a human being, but particularly as a father of 3 girls, as the founder of One Vibe Africa, and the CEO of One Vibe Media, and just as a brother and a community leader, both here in Seattle, Washington, and also in Kenya, Kisumu, Kenya, where I originally come from. Typically, when I go live, one of the things I do, and one of the reasons why I started my podcast, is to check in on, African fathers globally, Black fathers globally, and to, just hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're finding ways of taking good care of yourselves despite all the challenges that are presented to us on a day-to-day basis. So listen to some of the past episodes of the African Father in America podcast, and you'll be able to really understand some of the issues that we've been discussing that affect Black men, African men globally, and how we can deal with them. But also I love sharing topics that are relevant to the day. For example, right now, one of the things that I've been doing lately is to really compare the news in Kenya, what's going on in Kenya or in Africa in general, and what's going on here in the US and also around the world. So today I'm going to talk about those. And the other thing I typically talk about is I share an African proverb every episode since I started going live here on YouTube. And then finally, the other thing that I do is I just delve deeper into a topic. You know, so that every day we just cover something, not in a massive way, but just a little bit, At the same time, I'm learning how to use Ecam. Ecam is the software that I am using for this live stream, and I feel that being able to go live, technology is allowing us to do a lot more as African people, and we should really take advantage of it. We should really take advantage of it and learn how to use these things, these softwares, these computers, and do even greater things with them. So I'm learning something new every day when it comes to technology, and I love sharing. So if you're interested in learning about Ecam Live, let me know. Also, if you're interested in learning how to tell your story digitally, online, in a more authoritative and authentic way, also let me know. I'm involved in a lot of digital storytelling projects. So let me know and I'll be able to help you. So today's African proverb, before we delve into our topic, today's African proverb is that a child can play with its mother's breasts, but not with the father's testicles. A child can play with its mother's breasts, but not with the father's testicles. This is a Ghanaian, proverb. So all my Ghana brothers and sisters, big up to Samini, great friend of mine, a huge supporter of One Vibe Africa. Much love to you, and congratulations, our Ghana family, for voting peacefully and re-electing, um, you know, your president without a lot of incidents. So after sharing today's proverb, today's proverb is a little deep. I don't even know how to uh, share with you its hidden meaning. Every day, whenever I share an African proverb, I also share its hidden meaning. Today's proverb, particularly, a child can play with its mother's breasts, but not with the father's testicles. I think it just describes how mothers are forgiving and, even with their intimate parts of their bodies and even their intimate things, they have a very special place for their children. So, um, but fathers, even myself, I find myself keeping my children at a certain distance. You can only let them close so much. Lately, because we've been home for over 9 months since the coronavirus pandemic started, sometime I spend a lot of time with my daughters, but sometimes I just find myself wanting to keep a distance from them. But sometimes I cuddle with them, and we cuddle on the floor, and we play games, and we do things together. um but their mother always tolerates their issues, and that's why mothers are everything for their children. um so going forward, today, when I was looking online and reading the news of the day, I learned a few things. Here in Washington State, where I live, I learned that yesterday there was a shooting. Actually, there are supporters of President Trump, who just lost the election, that went to the state capitol here in Washington, and they were protesting about the election results. Then there were Black Lives Matter movement, or counter protesters, people who were countering the protest by pro-Trump uh, people, that also showed up in the state capitol. And so somebody from the pro-Trump side shot someone. That's here in Olympia in Washington State. So someone was killed as a result of this protest. Then in Washington, D.C., a lot of people in Africa normally confuse Washington State and Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the U.S. It's on the east coast of the U.S. But Washington State, where I live, where Seattle, Washington is, where Microsoft is also based, is on the west coast of the US. I hope that helps. So in Washington, D.C., when I woke up this morning and went on Twitter, I learned that um, about 4 people were stabbed, about 4 people were stabbed by pro-Trump protesters, people that were supporting President Trump. And most of these people are called the Proud Boys. And then the people who are protesting against these Proud Boys are called the anti-fascists. um, I'm just learning more about fascism and what all these mean, like this anti-fascism and fascism. I'm just learning more about it. Anyway, then there were a lot of people, almost 30 people in Washington, D.C., that were injured in one way or another and were taken to the hospital as a result of the pro-Trump um, supporters just causing mayhem and hurting people. So stay safe out there. There is the coronavirus pandemic, and also we have this political tension that is very unnecessary. So I just hope that you all take good care of yourselves. Stay home if you can. If you have to go somewhere, stay safe, wear your mask, and just take good care of yourself. Today's topic is really about dreads. I've been reading this book behind me. I haven't finished it. Francesca Mastalia and Alfonso Pagano. It's a book by Francesca Mastalia and let me grab it. Francesca Mastalia and Alphonse Pagano, introduced by Alice Walker. This book is called Dreads. Even though I have locks, and I love them, I love who I am, I love my identity, I'm proud of being an African, and I see my locks as African identity, because if you look at Mau Mau, they were dreadlock people. Mau Mau were freedom fighters in Kenya that brought freedom to Kenya after British colonialists stole Kenya from Kenyans. And since that theft until now, there is still so much trouble. A lot of the tribalism we see, a lot of the corruption that we see in Kenya, all of this were inspired by colonialism. Now, if you go back beyond colonialism, you find that spiritual healers, musicians, and long time before even the colonialists came to Africa, a lot of our tribal key figures wore locks, and most people wore locks. There were no companies making razor blades. If you look at the Maasai tribe in Kenya, they've been wearing locks for a long time, and they've been around for a long time. So you also find that in Jamaica, where reggae and Rastafarians made these locks very popular. And also here in the US, the Black Panther movement made locks very popular. Bob Marley made locks very popular. A lot of people in our society always judge people with locks negatively. When they see somebody with locks, the first thing they think about is he a Rastafarian? Is he using drugs or marijuana especially? I'm actually a big supporter of marijuana, and one day I'll do an episode just about marijuana. I have nothing wrong with marijuana, and I think it's a very important herb. So Rastafarians were frustrated and murdered and jailed in Jamaica as they were wearing locks and showing the importance of being an African, having an African identity. The Mau Mau were brutalized. Some of them were buried alive so that people can wear locks one day and be able to go to work and be able to be proud of who we are. But until now, so many people, they judge people who have locks negatively. Even me, every day I have to deal with judgments from people. There are places where you apply for a job, you cannot be accepted in those spaces because you have locks. There are positions, like political positions. If I was to run for any political position, the general society would expect me to shave my locks in order for me to run for such a position. There are so many people, even Bobi Wine from Uganda, who is running for Uganda president. He had locks, and before he could run for member of parliament, I was watching a documentary just yesterday that was done by a Ugandan who lives in the Netherlands, who works for DW News, Deutsche Welle News, and this documentary was about the story of Bobby Wine from the ghetto to the parliament. That's the name of that documentary. You can find it here on YouTube. So when you think about how the perception of locks or dreads or whatever you want to call them is around the world has become very, it's something silly. It's almost the way white people always want black women to wear ponytail. Is it called ponytail? Yeah, ponytail all the time. You know, that's also how the society expects black men to just be bald head all the time, so that you can fit into this box that has been made for you. If you have locks, you have to be prepared to deal with discrimination, loneliness, feeling unwanted. But you have to fight because you are representing a bigger vision. You are protecting a culture. When you get in to any space, people are scattered, and that's because you are a powerful creation, you represent the roots. And so I want you to, if you have locks, know that you are great and you're loved and you're respected and you're also feared. The fear is why people do not treat you with the respect that you deserve. They don't know the sacrifices that you go through on a day-to-day basis. But one day that will change. One day we will have a member of parliament with dreads, because we have musicians with dreads who are millionaires and billionaires. We need to have a governor with dreads. We need to have a president with dreads, because we are also human beings and we have to be respected just the way we are. That's very important. But if you're interested in learning deeply about what I am learning through the book that I am reading, it's called Dreads. It's behind me. I also want to see in the chats. Just let me know if you want to learn more. I can bring in the authors. I can bring in people that have been speaking about this topic constantly. I can bring in musicians who are also dreadlocked. I can bring in people who judge dreadlocks and they want dreadlocks not to exist. I can bring in my friends who shaved their dreadlocks when they wanted to climb the corporate ladder. So all of this is possible. All of this is possible. I just want you to have a beautiful week ahead. Today is Sunday. I know it's Sunday evening in Kenya, but it's Sunday morning here in Seattle, Washington. I'm just grateful, and I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope if you are a Christian and you're celebrating these holidays, I hope you are enjoying despite the coronavirus pandemic that has really changed everything for all of us. Yeah. Now, before I finish, I just want to urge you to follow me on Twitter at Javan Okelo, on Instagram at Simon Javan Okelo, on Facebook Simon Javan Okelo, on LinkedIn Simon Javan Okelo, on TikTok Simon Javan Okelo, and subscribe here to the African Father in America YouTube channel. Just subscribe now while you're watching and share it with your friends and leave your comment. And also I'm on so many platforms, man. I'm just doing my best. I have a website. It's called simonjavanokelo.com. Check it out. And then I'm on Pinterest as Simon Javan Okelo as well. Yeah, we have to be in everything. We have to tell our stories. We have to stay strong. We have to stay focused. Otherwise, other people will tell our stories, and that would be a terrible thing, So with that, I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your time to listen to my thoughts. And I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Kenya time, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Peace and love. Thank you.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in